Sastabe Tubesters, it's Arwen Forest song, The Bougie Mystic. And I am finally starting, I don't know why I have extra paper, I only need one, but I'm finally starting my Treadtober, what do you call it? Tag. There we go. This is the first week, first prompt, something of the sort. I kind of did this a little quickly, and by quickly I really mean I just like took note forms of like the questions or discussion points, and I'm gonna just answer as I'm filming this. So this is the welcoming of the season, and yeah, I'm just gonna get started. Oh, wait, no. I need to give some backstory because some of y'all don't know what this is. So this was introduced by, I believe it was created and introduced by Jasmine Ambrosia through the Red Thread Academy. So if you're part of the Red Thread Academy, I think that's where she shared it first, and she just shared like a little, I think it was like a Word document or something like that. And, excuse me, I just ate some pizza, so, you know, the cheese is doing the things. But, yeah, every week there's, like, a prompt with, like, some subtopics to address, and this one is welcoming the season. So, the first subtopic or whatever is, what does this season of the dead mean to you? And for me, this is a time of, how would you explain it? Like, there's almost like a quickening. It's like the last, it's a different type of activity. So, let's see, what the opposite of Samhain is Beltane. So, like, in Beltane, it's a lot more of a stirring of the earth, whereas Samhain's more a stirring of the spirits. So, it's like, I'd say somewhere between Lammas and Mabon or the equinox. Definitely between Mabon, the equinox, and Samhain, you really begin to see like a change in the winds. You might see more crows coming around. At least that's what I do, or at least I do, excuse me. And then there's also this like initial calm, this initial slowing down, if you will, but then like once it becomes October, especially like mid-October to about beginning or mid-November, it's this stirring of the spirits, and there's a lot more, and that must be what the thinning of the veil is, or what maybe ancestors, not ancestors, ancients thought of as being the thinning of the veil. What does it mean to me? It means that this is the prime time, not the only time, but the prime time to be doing seances, to be doing spirit board work, doing necromancy, or in some way, shape, or form communing with the ancestors. Also, just spirits of death and spirits of the dead in general. This is also a time where it's more deeper in that going within, a lot less, what do you call it? Like, a lot less of, like, expecting things from people, as well as also being a time where it's, like, no more foraging, no more harvesting, no more collecting from the earth. This is a time for it's almost like an equivalent to the dark moon, if you will, with, like, the Imbolc probably being the equivalent to, like, a waxing crescent. So, like, between Samhain until Imbolc, I really feel it's, like, almost a dark moon time. This is a time where the earth is all about receptivity and recuperation and resurgence and taking in for self to be able to provide for others. Yeah, I think I'll leave that one there. Next one is the red soul and how do you relate to it? It being tied to the mighty and beloved dead. So in my cultural tradition, the mighty dead would be akin to the spirit line ancestors. So these will all be people that you're not related to, but you're related to in or by faith, excuse me. And then the beloved dead would be your bloodline ancestors. Those are all that you're genetically related to. And the red soul is tied to like bone marrow and blood. Excuse me. But also the symbology of a red thread, tying all of those of faith, of the craft, of similar beliefs of that nature, being tied together, you know, kind of like going off of like what the fates, weavers, working with thread, shears, all that type of stuff. How do I relate to it? I guess it's something that I've kind of had to learn, but there is a lot of similarity. For in my cultural tradition, we have the porcelain teacup, the clay pot, and the iron cauldron. And these are all vessels that house certain aspects of self. Which is kind of similar to the three soul tradition. They're also tools that one usually has. So they're both tangible items as well as symbolic references to the body. They're also linked to the porcelain teacup or the white cup is tied to the skull. The clay pot or the red cooking pot is tied to the rib cage, and the iron cauldron or, you know, black pot is tied to the pelvis bone. But in regards to the red soul, I'm still kind of new to it, specifically this, but I feel like in those ways it's kind of the same thing. Like it's tapping into my blood, but also tapping into like the bone marrow, but tapping into, I almost associate the witch fire with the red soul as well, especially since the color red in a greater scale is tied to the red god, and the red god is the one that brings the fire that ignites the witch fire. And so I guess that's how I relate to it thus far. We'll see if it expands from that. Next one, thoughts on the afterlife. I don't think I have enough time to fully delve into my thoughts on the afterlife. But in a nutshell, just like there's neuroplasticity, so that means you're not bound to certain habits, certain ideologies, and things of that nature. You know, once you are fully mature and you're growing up, you can change your mind on things. You can, you know, participate in different actions and different beliefs and different ways of interacting and going about life. The same thing can kind of be said about the afterlife. I've witnessed this and experienced this with my family members that have crossed the veil. A lot of them have, I guess what some would probably call, got enlightened, and they kind of just understand more than they did when they left this plane of existence. So I definitely love that there's that continuation of growth that happens in there. The afterlife, and I don't know if this is going to make any sense, but it's simultaneously chaotic but also quiet. It's like I guess maybe a subtle chaos. In regards to, like, if you don't pay attention to it, or if you deliberately choose to ignore it, you won't get bombarded by it. But, like, once you start, like, attuning and paying attention to it and acknowledging it, you'll realize just how humming with life and activity it actually has. The afterlife is it's a very vast realm. It has a lot to offer, and I think we need to question it more. I think we need to acknowledge it more. I think we need to trust it a little more. I think we need to stop being so afraid of spirits, because there's a lot that we can learn from the afterlife and those associated with the afterlife. I think I'll leave that there and move on to the next one. Thoughts on necromancy. Technically, this was thoughts on necromancy and mediumship, but given the fact that I've never done mediumship, I don't really feel like I can speak on it that much. So I'll just speak on necromancy, which I haven't, in my personal opinion, I don't feel like I've specifically done necromancy, in the sense of like summoning a spirit of the dead and, you know, using a spirit board to commune with them. But I have done divination work with the ancestors, by like, one of them was using a midnight lace agate palm stone as almost like a scrying mirror. And so I kind of did like an invocation, nothing to like summon them, but invoke their presence and influence, and then do divination through that. I've also done that same thing with a bowl of molasses, so like scrying in a bowl. I want to actually, this Samhain, I have a candle. I didn't get to use it last year. I have I think it's called Waking the Dead. I want to use that this year and really do like an authentic, I guess you could say stereotypical concept of necromancy. So maybe I'll come back to that. The last one is practices worked this season, or that I will work this season. Well, one of them's going to be necromancy. I really want to use that candle this year and delve into like necromancy specifically. But obviously, I'm going to be doing Red Thread Academy assignments, lunar spells, and lunar rites. I'm going to be doing the Samhain, the Samhain ritual in the course manual. You can see here, this is my grimoire for the tradition. I'm going to be working on this more. I have some pages filled out, but not much. So I'll just show you the cover page right now. But it's activated and charmed and everything. But those are some of the things that. Oh, hold on. What else is it? I definitely have done, like, almost forgot to mention this, like, jack-o'-lanterns before. I've done both the pumpkin ones and the turnip ones. Ideally, I keep saying this every year, but ideally, I really want to do a rutabaga one. I think it's going to look really, really shabby and spooky. But I'm probably going to do the turnip one again for my altar, and then maybe do a pumpkin one for outside, because this Samhain I'm going to be moved into my apartment. It's going to be like a couple weeks after I've moved in. So yeah, it's kind of up in the air. I'm not really sure what's going to happen exactly this Samhain. I'm also going to be living with 2 other people and a child and a dog, so it's going to be very different. What else did I want to do? I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's all. Ooh, I have done, soul cakes. I've done what I call a procession of silent procession of the soul cakes, and I'll exit out of, if I have 2 exit entrances, I'll exit out of one and then come in through the other in a single line, not crossing footsteps. Otherwise, I'll just enter and exit through the same door. Yes, I hope to be able to do that again this year. A lot of times, what I do is, culturally, we have like this whole ancestral observances, and it's like a week long. It starts from the 28th, and it goes until the 2nd. The 28th is a resurgence day, if you will. It's kind of like a resurgence of the earth and all magic that was cast from the earth. It's called Mokostiva. or Makosh Day. This is a day to honor Makosh. And then the 29th is the first day. This is a day of, I don't know why I said first day. It's a day to honor the end of harvest and the death of the earth. So we like to make root soups, so like potato and turnip, parsnip, onion, garlic, maybe throw in some ginger. Usually nothing with meat. It's usually more ground things. We might eat some peanuts, beans. We'll throw beans in the soup sometimes. Yeah, so that's kind of like with that. We'll probably make some type of bread. Sometimes I've made, I think I made barmbrack during that time, or maybe not. I think barmbrack was actually on the 31st, so excuse me. The 30th is the day to honor all the fauna, all the non-human fauna specifically. So the 29th is like honoring the death of the flora. The 30th is honoring the death of the fauna, but non-human. So this would be all pets, cattle, livestock, wild animals. You know, you would, any animals that you, any meat that you have, those were animals, so you'd eat them in reverence. If you're vegan, then you would just eat a meal constructed by the foods that animals eat. So like you'd make something from whatever chickens eat, or whatever cows eat, or whatever deer eat, or things of that, or whatever pigs eat. You know, you'd make something like that, and then you'd honor the animal's life that way, by kind of like almost living through the animal by eating like it. And then the 31st, you'd either make like an ancestral recipe, something traditionally done that way, or more times than not, you'd make a familial recipe, like a family favorite recipe. Kind of depends. What was that? Then the 1st is All Saints Day, or All Souls Day. I get All Saints Day and All Souls Day confused. Well, 1st is one of them, and the 2nd is the other one. So I'll just say it this way: on All Saints Day, this is a time where we revere all of our revere all of our folk saints, and if there's any that have been set aside to be petitioned to make a new folk saint, then we will review them at this time and yay or nay them. On All Souls Day, this is where we honor all, essentially what would be called the restless dead, all wandering spirits who are technically still our ancestors. They may be of the spirit line or bloodline, but these are ones that haven't found peace, haven't crossed over. So a lot of times we'll like light candles for them, or maybe like also put out a plate of food. This is a lot of times where we honor those that went through a horrific unaliving. What else? Oh. This is also the time when, oh, blessed be, I just lost my train of thought. This is the time, hold on. Okay, now I remember. This is also a time where if there's any areas, or any building that's haunted in the area, we will go over there and attempt to help the spirits cross over. Yeah, that's it. That's what I was trying to remember. Loving this pause feature on my camera app. But anyway, that's my little rambly bit for my hashtag Tradtober week 1 entry. I'm gonna try and either record the second week today or within the next few days, because it's technically gonna happen while I'm like in the middle of like moving locations. So, ooh, blessed be, excuse me. So I'm gonna try and get that one done before next week, so that way I can just have it uploaded. If you're watching this, feel free to partake in it. I think it's going to be really fun. You don't have to be in Red Thread Academy to do this tag. I did want to clarify that. And you might find a difficulty answering some of the questions just because, you know, Red Soul is a very tradcraft thing specifically, and something that is mentioned within Red Thread Academy. But, you know, maybe with the way that I've answered these prompts, these questions, it might help you see how it plays out in your own practice. So feel free to, I'm not going to tag anyone specifically for this one just because I don't want anyone feeling pressured, because it is something that is a little more RTA tradcraft centric, but you don't have to be. If you feel like you can have fun with these prompts, feel free to jump on board. I will try to either add the Google Doc or write them in the description box, so that way you can copy and paste or screenshot or collect them and do what you wish with them. As always, thank you for watching. I don't want to get cut off, so I'm going to end it. Thank you for watching. Abundant and eternal blessings. Mwah.